Local lawmakers are also weighing in on the war as more families ask for answers on what the future may look like.
West 2's Brevard County reporter Megan Moriarty sat down exclusively with Brevard County Congressman Mike Haridopolos. What did he have to say here, Megan?
Well, we discussed the war in Iran and all of the rising costs associated with that. Lindsay just showed you some of those gas prices in Seminole County. Here in Brevard County on Merritt Island, we're sitting at $3.75 a gallon for regular gas. Now, Mike Haridopolos, he says this is just a period of turbulence and he sees an end in sight.
Well, I think the most important they're worrying about is how long will this last?
It's a question that Republican Congressman Mike Haridopolos is repeatedly hearing from his constituents as the war in the Middle East rages on.
Do you see an end in sight?
I do. I think that what we're doing in a very effective manner is knocking out their ability to dominate the region. And so I think you're going to have some, I would call turbulence. But I think that what you've already seen is that a couple of days ago, the price per barrel is $118. And the latest I looked at is a little about $80.
According to Trade Economics, the price of oil per barrel did go down in the last 2 days after the highest spike since the pandemic.
Holy moly.
But gas prices are still high. According to AAA, the average price of regular gas in Florida is about $3.70 per gallon. Diesel is a little over $5. A month ago, the average sat around $2.94 for regular gas and $3.73 for diesel.
What do you have to say to the average American, the families here in Brevard County who are concerned about rising prices?
Yeah, we are very much concerned about it. We're optimistic this is a temporary situation, which we're taking on an enemy that's been in our backyard.
Haridopolos pointed to inflation, saying it's down right now. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the peak of inflation in the last 5 years was June of 2022, a little over 9%. As of February, it's at 2.4%. But Haridopolos acknowledges the cost of food prices are still not where they need to be.
I think that if we can, in the long term, make these changes in Iran, like we already did in Venezuela, the supply of oil will go up. And of course, that overall brings down prices.
And we also spoke with the congressman about whether or not he would support boots on the ground in this war, as well as his overall message to the American people. That response coming up on West 2 News at 5:30. For now, covering Brevard County Live in Merritt Island, Megan Moriarty, West 2 News.